Hello and welcome to The Regulars. I'm Stacey McGonigal.
Hi, my name's Jason DeRoss.
Fuck, Marie! It's Monday. I was about to say Wednesday. Oh no,
Man.
This week's gonna be tough. That's nice. Welcome, everyone.
This week's going to be awesome. You get more days in the week. That's the way to look at it. You're going to get more days this week.
There's more opportunities, and that's, that's a thrill. Welcome to the podcast. Today is a massive day. We have a lot of things that are going to be happening, that are going to be going on.
Not your average Monday.
Yeah, it's not your average Monday. We are doing a massive deep dive into Mad Hatter. We were talking about doing this on the Patreon. It didn't feel right. I really wanted it to
all-inclusive is this one. It's like an all-inclusive resort to hell.
And yes, although the more deep diving I'm doing, a lot of kids aren't clocking it as such. But again,
thank you.
Yeah. But some are, and in a really deeply tragic way. And so I hold them.
But I do feel
higher.
like if we flashed back and we can get in a time machine, we can go to say the cafeteria in Alliston High School.
Yes.
There might be a lot of kids going crazy and having fun, and Stacey would still be sitting in the corner being like, is there a teacher around? Are we not?
Well, maybe that's because my memories of the cafeteria is when a friend / bully threw me up against a Coke machine and put me in a sleeper hold because I got mud on her windbreaker and no one believed me. Or when the very hot older guy was dating my friend, and when he came into Dairy Queen and demanded free food and I gave him day-old burgers and fries, he yelled at me, "Hey, McGonigal, you gave me diarrhea." Now...
Well, you did. You gave him day-old burger and fries.
Did.
On top of it, that you got into a fight and actually got put into a sleeper hold is pretty astounding.
I think it's really disrespectful to say that I got into a fight. I would say I got into a sleeper hold pretty quickly.
Which is amazing though, because in actual fights, sleeper holds was one of those WWE moves that
it's kind of, it's like your hands are like this.
Oh, we all know what it is. Yeah. But everyone's locked behind you, can you get out of this? That was the game you used to play. Be but you had to let the person put you in it first. That's what I'm saying, that you were in a fight that you actually got to the point where it was that's pretty great.
Someone was on a payphone during lunch, which is weird because everyone is at school. Okay. B,
Mom, come pick me up. No, I can't get this phone call every day.
Also, how could I from a distance get mud on someone's windbreaker? Also, I think they were just in the mood to sleep per hold someone, and it was me. And my friends didn't believe me. Anyways, the cafeteria does not hold weight. And you know what? I don't mind that after those experiences, I wanted rules and regulations in my caf. I don't care.
But you would also be the one at Mad Hatter's getting put into a sleeper hold then, because we got stuff to talk about today. It was not a rules place. It was not a place for rules.
It wasn't a place for rules, which make me nervous. I don't think I've ever had unregulated fun ever. And when I do, there's a deep shame spiral afterwards. So this will be a really great conversation. Jason, you are getting love for your haircut.
Oh, thanks. It's over a week old, so but I guess maybe it's just sitting right today, finally.
That's amazing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Also, I want to thank everyone who came to our first episode of Office Romance, which was on Friday. What a
Happy
time.
Patreon, everybody.
Happy Patreon. Happy Patreon indeed. Oh my God.
Jan Caruana drinking water for literally 60 seconds is the best. Oh, and she's here. Woo!
Wow, Jason, you're getting compliments on your hair, on your skin. A little smoke and mirrors goes a long way,
I know. I was about to say, this is the first day of the smoke and mirrors, so maybe that's all it is.
And Jan says, everyone looks well rested, and that's kind.
Wow.
That's kind. And Jameson's saying, hey, is your hair more red? No, it's not. It's more blonde. I don't know.
A light bulb went out in your apartment. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's just dark in here. It's actually, today's episode is just smoke and mirrors. It's smoke and mirrors and kids in their swimsuits with whipped cream. That's basically
I'll tell you what,
happening.
At the Mad Hatters, there is smoke and mirrors. Probably both. So, we're doing fine.
It's great. And so if you haven't checked out Office Romance, we're going to do more episodes of that. And you can check that out on our Patreon. It lives there. You can check out episode 1. It was nuts. It was a nuts time. Jason lost his mind. Okay, so we've said our hellos. Let's get our guests on, do you think? Unless we want to talk about our TV idea being stolen and me not being cool with it.
Let's not start there. Let's bring on some awesome guests.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, if you want to start there, we can, because
I
did get a text this morning being like, and you could feel the tone. It wasn't like if you read the email, but it was like, because the word might have been like, "Have you seen this?" But I read it as, "Have you seen this?" And it tracks.
Jason and I had a character, and I'm not saying it was stolen. That's just a joke. I mean,
no, not at all.
No, but we had a character at Second City where I played a young boy. He played my stepdad. Here it is, right here.
Oh, picture.
Yep, no problem. I will show receipts. And today it is now a television show, and Jason and I tried to make a television show based off these characters, and people were like, "That just seems weird that Stacey would play a teen boy," and now that's what's happening.
TV show.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're positioned like that in that picture is because of that's when we're imagining that we're wearing a dead man's skin. Remember?
Yes. The power of
now
theater.
I'm this guy. Ooh, cut my body. Never mind. That was
when Jason and I would pretend to put on a dead man's skin, which was pretend. We were in the world of pretend. The audience would go, "Ew." So, anyways, the show is on TBS called Chad.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. But what I can do is introduce our lovely guests and funnel my rage into the Mad Hatter. So you know them, you love them. They've been on the pod before. They are now coming on as a duo. It is Patrick Murray and Ashley Body.
Mad Hatter survivors.
Mad Hatter survivors. Let me just put on the names that we've decided today. So
I have to change mine now.
I didn't even see that.
Okay.
Sorry, Patrick, but that's great.
I want to thank you. Okay.
No problem. Great.
The pillow room. Okay, so for those that may be like, what's happening? Maybe you didn't watch our past episode. Jason revealed that he went to birthday parties at this place in Toronto where there were multiple locations, we've realized.
And I will challenge, I've brought it up in the past, other than just last episode, but last episode we really explored it.
And I couldn't believe that he would have gone to a place like that, only to reveal that my dear close friends below also loved the Mad Hatter.
Because we did have Chris Siddiqui in the chat last episode, and he was on Stacey's side of friggin' nightmare, is what I think is how he put it.
He said it was a nightmare, but
which I saw Ashley Body's face. Chris Siddiqui, you'd be like, he would love that place, you would think.
He's then a different person, because like I can't. It's only in adulthood that everyone's gone like, what did we do? What did they do to us? But back then,
yes,
it was paradise. Like you could not believe that this was something you were allowed to do, and that like your parents were exchanging money for it. Like it was out of anyone's realm of understanding. You'd leave bruised, and it was worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, was it?
So,
Patrick?
I feel like Bonnie should be on my side of the screen because it feels like we're going to have a bit of a vibe today.
The thing is that I started very much on your side of the screen. I was like, yeah, I had my birthday party there. I was like,
Wow.
It was a good time. Like, we had fun, right? And I realized I don't have a single memory of that day, and I have been on a fact-finding and a fact-facing mission to figure out what the fuck happened to me in there, because I do not know.
Okay. I mean, this is huge. So now you've both asked your siblings. I know that there's been check-ins with parents. Mm-hmm. We are going to get into that. If you have any questions in the chat, or if you're listening to this later, please send us messages on our Instagram. We will answer.
Talked about it on the pod before. Like, do people need to know there were a few locations in Toronto? You had birthday parties there. It was basically a dungeon full of crap. And everyone either had a birthday party there, I had one there, or you went to a birthday party there. And there was an article that came out maybe 10 years ago in The Grid where suddenly all these people were remembering. Okay, great. I just want to make sure that like people know what we're what
We
we're
did-
doing.
Oh,
We did a
we deep dived pretty hard.
Okay.
Well, I shouldn't say deep dive. That's today's the deep dive, right?
Today's the deep dive where we like have names and like the
Trauma.
creator. Yes.
Trauma.
I would like to be anonymous, but yeah.
Because I thought growing up that it was only in like the one I went to was out in like Whitby or Oshawa, and I think it was Whitby. But
I think they were all in Toronto.
they
I was in
weren't.
Scarborough. Yeah.
Maybe it was a Scarborough location. I just know it was on the east side. Like,
I went to
didn't go-
Bathurst, Eglinton.
But I thought it
Bathurst
was
and-
only the one location until last episode when Chris was like, nope. And then I looked into it. I was like, oh my God, there was more than one. So this maniac created more than one location. I thought he was just like hidden away in an industrial.
He found basements and got popcorn.
Well,
Okay,
and
not
the one
only-
the one that we went to, my brother corroborated this.
He
the
what?
Corroborate.
There we are.
Corroborated?
No, I want you to just take one hard, just like punch it out.
Ragnarok.
My brother, he corroborated.
Chad?
Chad.
Hello? I fully heard it and I was like, oh, we'll just let that go. And Stacey's like, excuse me?
No. They're all caught. And like, there's at least one an episode.
Can I just point out why? And this might be past trauma, but my mom never said words correctly ever. Like never, not a word. And we knew there was a problem when she had seen Talladega Nights and was talking about Jamaica Nights, and we were like, no. So she went to the doctor to be like, why can't I say words right? And she comes home and she's telling us that the doctor was like, you just have Debbie-isms. And I, as a young teen, was like, absolutely not. And you need to learn. And you need to learn what the real words are. So I would stop at all costs.
Cool runnings. That's what you were talking about.
Right, with the bobsleds and the Huskies. Anyway, so now I have to hold Jason accountable. He needs to know the real words.
I still won't be able to say that one, but that's fine. And but he was saying like in Whitby or Oshawa or Scarborough, whatever when I went to, wasn't in a basement. It was in like an industrial area. So like you basically drove into an industrial area and it was like a warehouse. And you're like, this is where we're going.
I did pull up
in a hearse.
Yeah, so I did find a picture of the hearse, which is right here.
Oh,
This
that's
is
not
one
the
of
one
them.
I remember.
That's a
The
limousine. That's
paparazzi.
not a hearse.
No, that's not the one that we had. It was black, and there was like literally a mascot head of the Mad Hatter on top of it.
Oh, because I heard that. So the description that I had was it was a red hearse. So I thought this was just a souped up hearse that they were just doing at a derby.
It was it was probably a hearse, but like it was. I mean, they obviously after that picture had more than one.
Being a child in a hearse.
Okay, because Botting and I were then upset. Like once we found out about the hearse, we got upset that our parents cheaped out on not getting the hearse.
My parents
I
didn't
didn't go
want to
in
provide
the hearse.
transport. My parents didn't want to provide transport. I would have gotten in that hearse happily.
Yes, we didn't get one either.
Wow. Okay, so what I've found to to get us into it is that the creator was this guy named Harry Stinson. He was 18 when he founded the Mad Hatter.
Brilliant.
Entrepreneur.
Yep. And he has since gone on to become, he's known as, and I believe this is from The Grid. So shout out to The Grid, that he's known as like the Donald Trump of Toronto. And this was years and years ago. He's now a condo developer. But she got him to be interviewed for The Grid. And he was just like, kids are kids, and now kids are obsessed with video games. But back in the day, they got to play. And that's what the Mad Hatter was. Sick. Although across the board, it was just called, a piss-stained basement, really.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think like the rental, like the party room in those condos is just like a big pillow fight bloodbath? That just reeks.
Yeah.
That's what reeks.
Yeah, this is how he likes to relax, is just like shirts off, whipped cream.
The sound of
I
children
ask
screaming.
myself, if like this group of people plus a bunch of other people that we love and some we don't, if they were like, you can go into a room and have a pillow fight for a while and then eat all the popcorn you want and run around and push each other around in shopping carts, what am I saying to that? And I think the answer is yes.
Wow.
To the shopping carts though?
Patrick, if you wanted me to get into a shopping cart and you wanted to push me around a parking lot, I would say yes to that.
Okay, that sounds very fun. I agree. I also am like a 30-year-old man who like understands like now how to not go too fast. And like
Okay, so I guess the question I have to ask myself is, would I let 7-year-old Patrick do that to me? And the answer is absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, Jan offers a big question. Who is giving an 18-year-old a business loan? The 80s was crazy.
Well, our parents were allowing us to go there, so I'm guessing like his parents were like, "Hey, you got an idea? Like, he can go and do drugs, or he can open up a friggin' party thing for kids." Now, and I'm on board.
Have you? So, Patrick, you've talked to your mom. Now, have either of you talked to your parents about how they got to the Mad Hatter? How they just went, "Oh, it says no adults, no problem."
Yeah. As I like shared some of the details that I've learned, my mom was like, "Oh, that sounds really bad." Because she was saying to me, like, again, I was like, "Mom, what happened to me in that room?" And she was like, "I don't know. Like, we were in like the parent holding deck. Like, we weren't allowed in.
You weren't allowed in."
Yeah.
And I was like,
imagine that now?
Oh yeah,
right? You stay outside? Absolutely not.
And finding out that we're letting it was run by an 18-year-old that.
And 15-year-olds would run the night or run the birthday. So do you remember who led you through? Because apparently you would get like nicknames. There was a naming ritual where you would. So there was one in the Grid. I believe it was the Grid. There was another article from, I can't remember, but there was a teen named Boner who walked everyone through.
I'm starting to figure like this was a guy that couldn't get into a frat, and then he's like, "Well, I'll fucking start my own." And it's just going to be a bunch of kids. There's hazing, nicknames. You're fucking chuggers. You're fucking.
You're fucking chuggers.
Here it is, by the way. Yeah.
But can we look at
that child has razor blade teeth? That child has full-on razor blade teeth.
So can you see these pillows? Those are the pillows.
That's probably the pillows from the pillow fight then.
Okay,
right?
So last night I called up my brother and I was like, "You have to talk to me about Mad Hatter." I remember, like, my memory of it is in there with my friend Steph in this room with the pillows, and she sliced her lip open, and we just kept going.
Of course.
But so I called my brother and I was like, and there's a lot of points here, but I was like, "Just tell me some things you remember." And he goes, "The pillow fights. They weren't really pillows. You could beat the shit out of someone with a pillowcase and the pillow was hard and there were strobe lights so you couldn't really see. So the lights would go dark and you could beat the shit out of somebody. And you could pin a guy down and beat the shit out of him." It was almost like at the end of a bar night when the lights come up at 2 a.m. and you're wasted and you look at everyone and you go, "What just happened to us for the last 3 hours? Where were we?"
Best frat house ever.
This is wild.
When Stacey was telling me about your Jason's recollection about how the pillows seemed to it seemed to be in slow motion, but then you got hit really hard.
Yeah.
And I went vacant behind the eyes
really
and
did.
looked off, and I just went, "I remember the lights."
It wasn't a fun recollection, nor was it super dark, but it certainly was unpacking.
You're not in a room that often with just strobe lights,
and it was suddenly the strobe lights, and it felt.
What about the epileptic kids? Like, nope, they still have to go in.
Yeah, this was the 80s.
The 80s, they didn't care about that. There was peanuts being thrown around. Like they didn't give a shit. Like,
yeah, my sister's impact statement was included old pillows from the 50s that really hurt when you got hit with them. I remember feeling like I couldn't breathe.
Oh God. This is unbelievable. Okay. Okay. So it's this place just, I think, terrified you all to the core, but because there were snacks later, you were forgiving.
No. Not my experience at all. Loved it from start to finish.
I couldn't believe that you had unlimited marshmallows. Like, I was like, I'll get hit in the head for as many marshmallows as I can eat.
You know, as a kid, I wasn't pulling for a marshmallow. That wasn't my vibe. That wasn't going to be a high commodity snack for me. Like that wasn't going to get me to do things, you know?
I feel like marshmallows always come in such a big bag that like, doesn't it always feel like you have unlimited marshmallows? Like who needs a second bag of marshmallows?
I don't think you understand my psyche, Patrick.
And also, when you're that age, they don't give you the bag. They just go, "Here's your marshmallow." But then it's like, imagine someone gave you the biggest bag.
They gave you the bag. That's right, Jay.
Yeah.
Were you all in the shopping carts? Is my question.
Yes.
My next question.
So yeah, and
Patrick
my brother
can't even open his mouth. He can't remember.
My brother reminded me that the shopping carts at the Bathurst and Eglinton location extended into the parking lot below.
Yes.
So not only did you use them in that header, but you would push
amazing.
them around the parking lot and smash into cars in the regular parking lot where like the Rexall was, and no one gave a shit. He goes, you'd smashed into them in the parking lot, and it was this fucked up thing where you knew everything was wrong about it, and you knew you could hurt someone, but they would tell you that you were just allowed to do it, and you couldn't get in trouble for it.
You saw Knife Kid smiling. He was having a good time. Or Knife
Yeah,
Kids.
and you're like, yes, I get to hurt somebody, and you could just put someone in the cart and smash them into things, and you were encouraged to do it.
Wow.
Those teeth. It's those teeth.
It wasn't like that in the location
They were
I went
sharpened.
to. The location that I went to, they did not have like you couldn't go into the actual parking lot. But what I didn't remember was this, because this is what my friend Ryan said. Wow, this place was nuts. As soon as we got there, we changed into our bathing suits, and before we left, they just hosed us down. I remember the whipped cream fight, a pillow fight in the room with strobe lights, and playing some sort of game where kids were getting pushed around on shopping carts while they asked you also to try to play hockey. So I'd say it was a mix of hockey, smash up derby, and jousting.
Wait,
and then
who's this from?
From my friend Ryan.
Oh.
We didn't go together, but we were best friends, so it was kind of weird. But he wrote, I also remember throwing up in the floor of my friend's car afterwards. The place was weird as hell, and I find it hard to believe that adults actually ran it. Well, they didn't. And then he wrote, it all seemed like a pretty bad acid trip.
A lot of people say it feels like an acid trip. And now talking to all of you, I think we can agree. I mean, you're all having these like waves of memory. Yeah, well, Jan says she found this on Reddit where someone said, we didn't have the naming or any harassment happening in the hot dog room, though. Yeah. There was definitely a sticky popcorn room where you could eat hot dogs and pizza. Do you remember that?
I remember the popcorn room. I don't remember hot dogs or pizza.
So you didn't have like hot dogs thrown at you, Patrick? Going into a state?
I remember the smell.
Let's go into that. I want to know.
I can't wait till this clicks back in at some point, like therapy. And
at some point,
it's like, oh my God.
Tears are going to just... Yeah, all I know is when I asked my mom, because again, I was like, what happened? And she was like, first of all, she said, she goes, well, we don't know. She goes, but there were pictures. And I was like, well, do you have them? And she said, no, they just took them of you. Which, and then I was like, well, did I say anything? And then she went, oh, I don't think you were super keen.
So apparently what happened was, and again, it's really hard to get information about this place. It's almost like, not like wiped from the internet, but there's no...
They make you promise not to say what happened.
And also remember, like, this is a place that was very niche and small, and it's like before there was people carrying cell phones around taking pictures or whatever. Like, this is from a day where it's like nobody was recording.
But how niche? We all went there.
Yeah, what I mean is, like, outside of Toronto, people weren't going to this place, so it's like it's not like... But also...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just mean, like, it wasn't well documented probably at the time because it was run by an 18-year-old that probably just took pictures to be like, maybe one day I'll put out a pamphlet. Like, that was probably...
Like, my memory is there were no NDAs. Like, people are saying, like, did you sign a waiver? Like,
yes, I remember that.
You signed a waiver?
I don't remember if I signed it, but I remember, like, there was the big...
Can we sign it? We were like 8. Can we be like, yeah?
That's what I mean. But it was like they made a big deal. Like, it was, I remember them making a big deal of making it almost like it was a fun thing that your parents can't know what's happening. Like, they go past this thing. So it was like, we can't, what happens here stays here. It was literally like the old Vegas saying, but for this and for kids. And it was like,
that's what my brother kept. That was his refrain. He was like, I was a bully. I was an asshole. He was like, and I could go in there. Not only was it okay, but it was encouraged. I could beat the shit out of people and it was totally okay. That's what my brother kept saying. He was like, no one got me in trouble for like throwing kids around.
Fight Club.
Yeah. It was basically, well, apparently they would end, like you would, your parents would go for 2 hours or something. And the last 30 minutes, everyone would be so amped up, and then you would just get ice cream, as much ice cream as you wanted, almost to like calm you down and like pump you with sugar. So when your parents go to pick you up, you're like, this is the best. But it explains a lot of quiet car rides home when the sugar crashes.
So my brother said, he's like, they give you cake, and instead of eating it, someone's birthday cake, you could just chuck it at one another. So they bring out someone's birthday cake, and you could just throw it at some girl, even if it was her birthday, it would get all in her hair. And then your parents would come and pick you up, and you'd just be covered in someone else's birthday cake.
They hose you down afterwards, like prison style. Yes. Hose you down. I'm not kidding.
I don't
the location I was at, they hose you down. That's what my one friend said too. He's like, you bathing suit on the second you walk in, and like you're in your bathing suit while you're there.
I think you were at more of a suburban where they had the space for hosing, and mine was more of an urban, and there was no hosing at mine.
Well, I heard that at your location, Ashley, there were hosings, and kids would just be left in the parking lot.
Yeah, in December.
Yeah, in the winter.
I need to paint a picture for you too about this cake eating room. So like to get to the one that I was at, you have to get through, you go from the pillow fighting room through this maze where there's some mirrors, but it's also just like, as if you were walking through an old Navy fitting room that had hallways. Like it was just like, oh, okay, go here. And there were all these things. But then when you get there, it's like the ceiling is high, like a couple stories high, because we were in like a warehouse. So they had like this chicken wire netting over top as the roof, the ceiling. So when you're in the food fighting room, there's no roof above you. There's just this wire that has like holes in it that are like this big. So if you got a gumball, you could just chuck it to anywhere else in the warehouse where things are going on. So like you could be in the shopping cart room and a gumball could come and like smack you in the head from some other kids. Because I also remember when we went there, when we got to the shopping cart room where it's kind of like a hold up in the whole pushing people through, we were with another birthday party too. So it's kids you don't even know. And you're like, smash them. And you're like, okay.
Yes, Jason, that's right. There were colliding birthday parties.
Yeah, which made it weird because then you smash somebody and you're like, I don't know you, but I just hit you pretty hard with the shopping cart.
I feel like it's when you don't know the kids that you get really ruthless. Like it's like that's when it gets really dark. Like, and then there's like the rival gang.
Yeah.
I do remember like seeing like when we would like play volleyball or whatever and go to a different school, and those kids like just seemed like bizarro kids to me, like from a different realm.
Yeah.
Like
I
was like,
hated them.
Yeah. You
hated them.
Yeah.
And you're like, that girl's just like Lisa, but Lisa's our Lisa. Who are you?
It's like that Simpsons episode with competing towns. Yeah.
I'm
Millhouse.
I'm the Millhouse. Yeah, it's just so weird. I can't compute it. Yeah. It's like meeting your friends' other friends. They seem always strange. It never really works out. It's odd that they're friends with those people.
You have to wonder if our parents knew that it was fucked up, but the time they got off outweighed what it might do to us long term.
Well, they were getting off?
Yeah, like when they were masturbating outside. No, with the time that they got, they didn't have to like supervise. They got time away, Patrick. Or maybe some of them were enjoying it. But yeah, like you have to wonder if they were like, this isn't right. But I was able to get a coffee and read a magazine.
Again, like this is a time period when they had back seats of station wagons without seatbelts. Like it is a time period where it was like, I was allowed to walk to the park by myself as like not a 4-year-old, but like by 7 years old, I'm going to the park by myself, which you just would not do anymore.
I was taking the subway to school at 9.
That's what I mean. So I think it is a different time period, and there was like a different vibe or culture in the world. So it was like,
well, there is
dropping your kids off at like a Chuck E. Cheese. You would do that no problem. Be like, see you later. But this was just a Chuck E. Cheese, and they didn't realize
what was going on
in the midst of it. There's heroin being done in the back room. So
Jason, no.
maybe.
Allegedly.
That was my nickname on my thing. Was just heroin.
Allegedly. Wink.
Yeah, I asked my mom, so I guess my mom found it for me. Like, I didn't even know it existed. Her thing was she she was like, all I could think was like this, like I would have loved this. Like you think like as a kid, and like even the way my brain works, like when I was talking with my sister maybe a year ago about like plans for her kids' birthdays, we were like, is the Mad Hatter still around? Like that place was, because the idea of it sounds great. But then the reality of it is like, again, Ashley's friend just like bleeding, like a pillow covered in her friend's blood and like gumballs.
We kept going. Yeah.
I remember my nephew had a birthday at like one of those jungle room parks where you can just climb everywhere and there's basketballs, and I couldn't find him, and I just found him like just reading in a corner, and he's like, oh, I need a break. Like it was just way too much. He was like, oof. I was like,
like some bully like my brother's looking specifically for him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so wild, but it's also like the fact that the boss, if you were like, I need to like, who's in charge here? And it's like an 18-year-old kid who's in charge of 16-year-olds to guide everyone through. Like there's no, like, I just think about when I worked at Dairy Queen and we were like 16, you know, and we all got in trouble because we were stealing from the big open bag of change. We can't be trusted.
I don't even remember there being any infrastructure. Like all I remember are cement dank rooms full of shit. So it's not like there was like a ball pit or a pool or trampolines. Like it was just gross pillows, popcorn, the cake. That's movable. Like he gets kicked out, he goes to another dirty basement.
But I heard in the 90s from the Grid, I think that they switched, or this might have been from Reddit, where they took out the gumballs and then the fighting was just whipped cream, Jello. I mean, Jello could still hurt, but more
so they probably got
Jello.
a few like injuries from the gumballs. I went gumball time because I remember actually chucking a gumball out that chicken wire, and it was like, I wonder where it landed.
We'll never know.
Just like a girl's like, I lost my tooth that day. This gumball came out of nowhere.
It's not that old tooth. You're
that
fine.
Took me out and erased my memory of that day.
Jason, Rob Lewin, like, so would you let Charlie go? Like, how old's Charlie now? 5, 6?
5.
Yeah, Rob wants to know that.
3 years. So, like, would you go? Would you let him go without supervising him?
I understand that this is supposed to be one of those questions that is like, oh my God, putting somebody else that you love at risk and not yourself. Would you do that? But for me, this is an easy answer. Hell yes. Get in there. Get in there. You're going to have a good time. Definitely. Don't call child services, but I'll let Charlie go and he'll come out and he'll be like, that was fucking great, man.
Well,
you know what he would say? I don't know if I told you this, but Charlie has a new swear word. Did I tell you about his new swear word?
No, please tell us.
And we didn't give it to him. We didn't feed it. So I don't know where it came from, but every once in a while he'd be playing with his toys and he'd go, oh, Donald Christ. And we're like, what? And he goes, Donald Christ.
It's like a mix of Donald Trump and Jesus Christ.
Donald Trump and Jesus Christ.
Donald Christ. And what do you say to him? Do you don't say that?
Well,
it's weird.
Not just the first time, but the second time I also went, what? And he's like, Donald Christ. And I'm like, okay.
Charlie feels just like an old soul. Like, I think he's like been here before, you know, like you get those senses when you meet people and you're like, oh, this is new for you. He says, I don't remember any examples right now, but he says sometimes, and I'm like, there's no way you got that from your TV shows. There's no way you got that from whatever. You definitely got whatever information that just came out of your mouth from a past life. Like it has to be. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah,
so you let that little sweet soul go get the shit beat out of him by a rock hard pillow in a baby.
Well, you're jumping to assumptions. I don't think he's gonna get the shit beat out of him. I think he's gonna.
He'd be the beater.
Oh, he'd win.
I think that I don't think that it's Jason, black. I don't think it's black and white where it's like there's the bully and there's the person that gets bullied. I believe that it's like you're gonna take some licks and you're gonna give some licks. Like that's the way you're gonna give some pillows to the face and you're gonna get some pillows to the face.
Okay, first of all, absolutely not. That's not at all how the world works.
That's how it worked in my life. I remember getting hit and being like, I guess this is what's happening.
I think that was the alpha bullies hitting each other, and then you just hit other people who didn't hit back.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Jason on this one. Wow. I'm kind of with him. Like, it's like if you're going into the Thunderdome, like, buckle up. Like, like you don't want the kid who's like, ow, that hurt. Like, it's like, we're all hurt. Like,
I also want to teach him that too, in a sense, because it's like, it's a pillow fight. So like, if you are the person that's like, ow, that hurt, and then everybody goes like this, that person's getting bugged by this, they all go, let's get that person. I just want Charlie to be like, great, learn to. It's not like an old like 50s thing where like, I want you to learn to fight. I'm gonna teach you to fight the bully. But it's like, learn to stick up for yourself. If you get put in that moment, don't be the one that's just like, I'm telling on you. Like, hit him back with a pillow.
Well, I also feel like there have been multiple experiences where like the person who's like, ow, you hit me too hard, 5 seconds before was hitting you too hard. And you're like,
1,000%.
I responded accordingly.
And listen,
Like,
Kayla
you're
agrees.
just crying, so
Just a quote that can be used for any situation. We're all hurt.
Yeah, we've all got our own traumas. This is fine.
But it is true. The person who's like, stop it. It's like, you know what, Crystal? Like, you've ruined everyone's day. And now we're ruining your day. Because fair is fair.
A crystal. Oh, no. What if I was a crystal?
Well, you know, but there is, what I love is that there's this like woman who used to work across the street from the Mad Hatter. And she's like, before her shift, she would sit and watch the kids either go into the Mad Hatter or usually coming out, and you all just looked like, she's like stunned that they had just survived war. Like they were just kind of shell shocked, and they looked exhausted. And she was like, it was just so cool. Like
it sounds like more and more of a plus for a part. Like you get time off from you're just like, I get time off, and then when I get back, they're just gonna go home and go to sleep. And you're like, great, that was a good day, good birthday. You had a good time.
There is something so nostalgic about a place that you know can never exist again. It's not that it doesn't; it just can't. Yeah. Like that would never be allowed in
totally
America ever again.
Oh, Jenny said that her friend just said a documentary is being made about the Mad Hatter.
Well, that's what we're leading towards. So this is going to kill us.
So,
oh no,
so let's just confirm. So Jason and I have now had 2 things stolen from us. This is ridiculous.
In one day. Oh
my God. Can you guys just freaking pump the brakes?
I would just like to say formally, I have no loyalty. Please put me in the documentary. I don't care.
I would just like to say formally that Patty has a lav mic.
Yeah, no, he's got a lapel mic. Can we talk about this?
That's a first for me to see, like, just like a comedian, like with a laugh.
I
wish I had it in my hair. Like it was like taped with like flesh tone, and I could be like, "Luck be a lady tonight."
Yeah, just that
and
little
Patty, is
mic.
It wireless? Is it a little wireless device?
Oh no, she's got
tucked into the shirt.
Wires for days, professional.
If you and I were at Mad Hatter, the first thing I would do is like gun for you and take that from you.
Yeah, wrap it around my throat. And I would say fair. We're all hurt.
I just see that being connected to like a walkie for your mom. So you can be like, come get me. This is done.
No, it's taking a turn.
This is baby boy to mommy. Baby boy to mommy.
Baby boy to mommy. Yeah.
As you say that too, I don't remember there being like music played at this. So it's like, I think, and I don't remember like, I don't think there was. So now just the picture, there wasn't like, if you go to like, I don't know, I feel like music makes it like action packed. Like you're like in there being like, oh my God, they got this music pumping you up as well. But I think it was just literally like all you heard was like, oh God. Like there's people like trying their best to hit each other.
Wait, there was no music?
No, I don't think so. I think it was just like lights go off, strobe light comes on, and then you're like, you can literally hear people going, ow, like, which makes it kind of weirder.
Well, because you need music. There's just like nothing more uncomfortable.
Which is very weird because the lights were so intense.
Yeah.
So like to have like lights and just like
I mean, quiet? I don't remember enough, but if I think about it, I don't think there was like music anywhere. I think it was just like
and it was the 80s. Like there's so many options for a little strobe party and
yeah.
I remember knowing it was dirty. Like I remember being like, there's a difference between this place and Chuck E. Cheese. Like Chuck E. Cheese is like, it is what it is, but someone cleans this. And no one cleaned that.
Although I will say as an adult, go to Chuck E. Cheese. Memories are it's still probably pretty dirty. It's
I remember
they had to get rid of ball pits, I think.
Oh, yeah. I refused to go into the ball pits. Like my parents would be like, go. And I was like, are you kidding me?
After this pandemic, there will be no ball pits. That's for sure.
Ugh. Although I will say this.
Maybe I'll take out a loan and
Patty, just sell that lav mic. You got the money right there.
I know, sell the lav mic. I did see, I was walking the dogs and there was a man, like a dad talking to his son. And his son I just was like, if I was a teen boy, like that's who I would look like. He had his like jacket hood on his head and he was just like in his school uniform and he was like, ugh, like slowly walking up a hill. And his dad goes, I'm sorry to say it, bud, but you're just obsessed with video games. This is why you're scared of the world. This is why you're scared of going outside. You got to start going outside more. I should be begging you to come in.
Do you think if the generation now, like the Gen Zs, had Mad Hatter experiences, that the notion of safe spaces like wouldn't exist because they're like, fuck safe spaces. Why you need those? You just got to go battle it out and, may the strongest win.
Listen, of course, I remember telling my mom I'm depressed and she said, no, you're not. And that was it. That was the end of the conversation. She said, wash your hands. We're having dinner. So it's like, it was a different time.
I remember we would just go down into the ravine behind my house, and we would be gone from like the morning to like the early evening. Mm-hmm. And we built a fort that then a homeless man was living in.
That's nice.
And sometimes he would just be washing his clothes in the river, but he was very friendly. I think he stepped over the line a little bit because someone found him like sleeping in their garage on a couch, and that kind of ruined the party for everyone. Of course. Yeah, definitely like that was like, oh, well, like he's fine. So like carry on.
Yeah. See, we talk about the Mad Hatters, but like, it was also a time period where you could be like, oh, there's a stranger out in our backyard washing his clothes in the river. Send the kids out. See if they're building a fort.
Get them to check on him.
I might have missed this, but Jenny says that she used to have to do job interviews in a ball pit at work. And I want to know was this a McDonald's?
No, I got a secret for you. Jan wrote, I've been in that ball pit, Jenny, with Jason.
Where is this?
Is this like a Google thing? Like...
I mean, it was a fun-looking office. It was like Jenny used to work at the old. It was around the corner from the old Charlotte room, so I think that's where we were, like at the Roxy, sort of. So then one night we were out, like I believe that's what happened, and then we went with her. She's like, "Come on upstairs," and we went up and jumped in the ball pit in the middle of a bar night.
See, this is where I think maybe there's something. Yeah, it was an adventure travel company.
The whole room was like, as soon as you open the door, like I believe it's like there's a bit of wall at the beginning of the doorway, so the door could swing open, and then you just step into the ball pit.
Were you
and the whole room's a ball pit.
To do your interviews from the ball pit? Was it like, look, we want to show them how laid back we are, they would piss anywhere, just do it from the ball pit? Like, were you supposed to?
You get hosed down after the interview.
Yeah, we need to know more information. This is where I feel like maybe I'm just like a Debbie Downer because I struggle with that sort of structured adult whimsy.
Yeah.
I see people balancing.
They don't want you at that company.
Well, exactly. But it's like people doing circus tricks in the park or like adults,
like
jumping
zip
in a ball
lining
pit.
to someone else's office. Like
parkour.
Yeah. Like she said exactly that. And I would struggle with that whimsy. And that's more me than anyone else.
But that's also like, okay, the slacklining in the park, I can get behind. I'm actually into that shit. But like you put on your nice shit. You go to your interview at your adventure travel company that will remain nameless, even though we all know what it was. You go there.
Manila envelope.
You go to your manila envelope. You've got your hair. You're ready to go. And someone's like, great, we're just going to head to the ball pit. You're wearing pantyhose. Your bush is going to pop out at some point because you can't get full balance in the ball pit. I mean, this sounds like a nightmare.
I mean, frankly, it's already popping out with the pantyhose. But yeah. I just am
the
not
whole
that
room
kind
is
of
a ball
girl.
pit. So like literally once you get in, your interview would be your two arms above the balls and a head.
Yeah,
that would be
you
it.
stand or sit or
you
lie
sit.
back.
You lie back,
like,
sort
just
of.
Like and just face each other.
The part that, if I remember correctly, and Jenny can correct me, it's also like it's in the middle of this office where it's along a line of like offices. So it's one of the offices is a ball pit thing. So it's a glass window. So people would walk by seeing you in this ball pit during your interview at the same time.
That seems like hazing.
I will tell you that.
Support.
Oh wait, we got a picture apparently.
Oh, so Jason, can you get that pic?
Sure, I'm going right now.
I remember having to do a job interview at a soap store in Toronto, and
for sure.
Lush,
definitely Lush,
allegedly
in the bath,
and
in the bath.
I was in a bath. No one else would get in. It was weird. I said bra and underwear. It's just like a bikini. No one believed me. But it was like one of those low points where it's like, you really need a job. Like, you really need the job. And I get there and it's early. We all have to sit in a circle. And I was like,
the group interview.
The group interview. And I had just kind of left theater school. Things weren't working out. And I was like, I can handle
You have a degree.
circle. I have a degree.
In a group interview.
Yes, I have a degree in a group interview. And I'm just like, okay, a circle. This is what I did for 4 years. They literally put on a CD. Okay.
No.
And they were like, show us your personality. And everyone had to dance.
No.
And did I
to sell bath bombs?
Yes.
Did anyone make it weirdly sexual?
Yes. Of course, there's always one person who does like, who's kind of doing this and then just does this
They
move,
did put
like,
on Ride the Pony. Like, that was the song.
yeah. I had to dance. I got on the streetcar crying. That I was so embarrassed. Did I get the job? Of course I did.
You did.
I did, but it was
And
like,
she was the one who threw her arms above her head.
yes.
Yeah.
Got her in.
Yeah. In fact, I just started
She was like,
kissing
pantyhose.
everyone.
Girl, I remember you dancing on main stage. You
Yeah.
can move your body very
club signal.
sexually and very beautifully, and you are not going to like how I'm talking right now, but I remember watching you move and being like, damn. You can move, girl.
My body was right and tight and I didn't appreciate it then, but I did have some moves.
Okay.
Well, I was, but that sketch started because, anyway, so I won't get into it, but thank you. I'll let it land. I will let the sexy moves land. But it got me a job, but it was low. It was a low point.
One time I had a job interview at a sporting goods store, and I was honestly 15, maybe 16, and they were like, so, how do you feel about accessorizing? And I just went,
what?
Good.
Is this like that items of flair? Is that what this is?
I don't know. He asked me how I felt about it, and I was like, how do you answer that question? So I went,
But did he mean athletically?
Good.
Like when you
I
had
didn't
to
follow up. I just said, I feel good about it. And then we moved
Very
on.
strongly.
Yeah.
Strongly.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about if your interview was here?
Oh.
That's Carrie and Jay. Is that you in the middle?
I'm in the
Yes, of
middle.
course.
Oh, God, there's a chair for interviews in it.
There's something
That's-
for presentations. There's like a screen to do a presentation. Am I
Jay, how
wrong?
did you survive
No,
this
you're right.
trauma?
And then
That
where
looks
the picture,
cute.
where the
Everyone
picture is
looks like
coming
they're
from
having
would
a
be
fun
like
time.
the window of that office, sort of into like the main area of the office, sort of.
Oh, and
That makes
fun
sense.
little like text emojis. Like there's like a colon bracket, like semicolon P for tongue.
Question one: what emoji are you? Pointed it on the wall.
Yeah.
Jenny, did you ever see them
Eggplant.
cleaning the balls? Did you ever see them like scrub down those balls? I'm just curious.
Feels like a lot of labor. Like
will
you
tell
know,
you-
that would just be a spritz on top. Like I'm not going into the second layer.
And just, like,
Haley
move it
calling it
around.
out. I love this old ass Instagram frame. I love, like, everyone's talking about their group interview moments. So Megan went to Bed Bath & Beyond or Bath & Body Works and had to sell soap to each other.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secret for Megan. Oh, yeah. Based on my outfit and hair. I was never hot enough to even apply there. I had really bad
Retail
bras.
just like I don't know. Retail could not care less about my life. Like I remember applying at like
Really?
Mex, and like I shot high with a Holt Renfrew, and then I got like humbled with like a Mex, and they never called.
Really? I was like, I got on a
Next to
real...
my eye level.
I got on a real upswing with retail. I did Lululemon, which was
Ooh, that's tough because they make you get a little bit culty there.
okay. So
Yeah.
it is so culty and really intense. And like they were so passive aggressive that it was like it was the only job I just stopped going into. Like I just ignored the calls. I just stopped going there.
Have you read the story about the manager who like killed one of her employees at a Lululemon and like spent the whole night like trying to clean up the body?
No.
Do a deep dive. It's a tale.
We know what we'll be doing when you all come back. It's the
That
Lululemon.
woman-
Lululemon is
It's several
They
months.
should have asked the people at Mad Hatters how they cleaned up dead bodies, because for
But
sure. like,
Lululemon is just like allegedly is super dark. Like they had tailors, and we would just take the pants to the tailor in the mall. Like it wasn't anything. And like the pants only really cost $20 and the markup was so crazy. They were like, anyways, it was bad. But
they have an association, I think, with Landmark, which has an association with Scientology, but like you're supposed to like
follow
be
the money,
actively shooting for goals while you work there and like attaining goals and reporting back on what you've done to get your goals. So, my goal is to like pay my rent and
exactly.
That's it. Like,
but you have to set up your goals and then they put them in a frame with your name on it and they put it on the wall. And then they would like, let's just say you brought in a plastic water bottle. This was back like, oh my God, this was like over 10 years ago, more. And they would they'd be like, we're not like mad that you want to bring in a water bottle, but we will ask like, where are those thoughts coming from? And like, why are you doing that? And like to get a promotion, you had to read all their books, like the book list, and very culty. And then they didn't work on commission, but I had a manager physically grab me and she pulled me by my sweater into the back corner of the store and shoved in my hand painfully a note. Like I was like, I'm getting, this is a sleeper hold again. Like I got mud on a windbreaker.
Put you in a shopping cart.
She put me in a shopping cart, razor blade teeth. But it was like, you have major sales goals. Like it was really bad. This was at Lululemon, allegedly. So anyway.
No, it's a true experience.
In the chat of people's like
what?
Crazy retail experiences.
Rob says, when I worked at Second Cup, I had to keep asking my manager how to make the drinks. And he always just told me to make the drink that was in my heart.
That's a good manager.
Oh my God. No, I don't care what's in your heart. I said iced Americano. Like
I remember working at Forever 21. I did that. Yeah, that was hard. I was close to 30.
I was restaurant and like, but I was always like, I've always just been like a pretty like shitty employee. So I remember working at a Jack Astor's and they were doing like my performance review and they were like, okay, like things you're doing great. Like they were like, you know, like you're great with the guests, like outgoing, friendly to the other employees. And then there were like areas of improvement, showing up. And I was like, no, I hear you. Yeah. No, definitely.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, I was like, yeah, like I see the schedule as like a suggestion. Like this is when we would like you to be here. And I don't know.
I wish I had that energy because like the people I worked with at a restaurant that just were like but everyone loved them and they were so fun and the customers really loved them too. They got away with murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was really salty working there over a long weekend and I walked up to a table and I was like, welcome to Jack Astor's. Guess you don't have a cottage. And they were like...
I would die laughing. Yeah, I was a hostess. I food ran a few times and I would just be so upset that I wasn't out for dinner, that I couldn't get past that I had to serve somebody a nice evening, that I couldn't have a nice evening.
Oh God, there was nothing worse than like, because I served tables for a long time and you like work a table and it's usually two dudes and they're flirting with you and you've got prime rib juice on your tie and you're like, really? Okay. And they're just like wasting your time and you're like, I can't wait for that sweet 25-30% because you like my boobs. And then you get your tip and it's like 7, maybe 10%. And you just want to be like, this was a waste of my time. But then every once in a while, someone that you worked at the restaurant with would like throw change at someone and go, you need this more than I do. And like they fully got fired, but it was worth it for the lore. Yeah, I could see you doing that. I was such a goody. I didn't do that stuff, but like, fuck, I wish I had.
Really?
Yeah.
You threw change at a customer?
I could see.
I didn't throw change, but I did this guy covered the bill for he was on a date. And I was like, oh, was there something wrong with the service tonight? And she was like, oh, is this about the tip? And I went, oh, there wasn't one. And then he goes,
love that.
And he pulls out a 5 and I went, a 10% tip would be $10. And then he pulled out a second 5. And I was like, thank you.
Good for you.
He didn't tip you at all?
At all. And I was like, not on tonight.
But
God.
People are brutal, and it's always like the people you think are gonna like that are super like you think they're super rich or they're gonna give you a big tip. It's never those people. Or to get that big tip, they're gross.
Okay, the
they're
worst
so
move
gross.
that someone can make at a restaurant, if we were all having dinner together and you guys all put your cash in and I took all of it and said, I'll cover the bill with my credit card, and you guys had all tipped accordingly, you guys had all tipped very well. The worst move you can do is the cash that you gave extra covers more of the bill, and then I tip shitty, and then the waiter gets like a shitty tip. That was the worst move. That was when someone was like, I'll cover all this. It's like, oh, will you? Oh, will you, Rick? We'll see. It was always garbage.
And doing the showy thing, or even if no one's paid it all, and they're just like, no, I got this one. And it's like, do you? Do you have this one? Because like that will include the tip, Mr. Big Shot. Because everyone else is like, oh wow, thanks, Rick. But like,
it's so true. And Megan goes, wait, I think I just lost it. I remember this because I was just basically a host. You didn't want me as a server. She goes, worst thing as a host is trying to get people to sit at a half table or half booth. Just like seating people is also a nightmare. Like just sit, unless it's like near the bathroom and it's your anniversary and you cheated. And so this one's really got to land. Like just freaking sit down, or the patio. I can't.
Yeah, people like having any kind of pretense. Like when someone would be like sniffing their wine, and I'm like, it's Jackson Triggs. You're at a Jack Astor's. Like they're like, I think it's spoiled. You're like, no, it's just cheap. Like
I remember going to the Keg, and like I was with my first boyfriend, and we were like, you know, when you're like playing house, like you think you're an adult, and so we were from small town, so we just thought the Keg was very shishi wee wee, which I still think it is, and I love the Keg.
We love it.
A suit that doesn't fit. Yep. Wearing a suit that doesn't fit.
Exactly. You don't even wear dressing up for.
I worked at the Keg for 3 years. Yeah,
so good. And we remember when we went to Casey Musgraves and got treated so well because your friend was there. I was like, "Am I famous?"
You were that night. You were that night.
We were. We actually made a lot of friends at that concert. Yeah. By a lot of friends, I mean just one very cool.
Yeah, it was her birthday, and we feel like we should have talked to her more, and we didn't. We talked about it afterwards.
We should have talked to her more. I think about it often, like, why didn't we just ask her to come sit with us? She went to Casey Musgraves by herself. She was like from Buffalo.
Yeah, and she was her 21st birthday. Yeah.
Yes.
Red flag.
We were. That is a red flag. But Body and I could have taken her under our wing, I think. But
you can't just have someone sit beside you at a concert where there are assigned seats, Stacey. I mean, come on, there's limitations.
Yeah. It's true.
She seems like the weak one in the pillow fight, and best to just keep your distance.
And we're back.
And we are back to that.
Two women who would have beat the shit out of her, in their childhoods, now want to take her under a wing, but didn't, and still kind of.
But still didn't. Yeah.
Like, let's be clear. Like, I want to be clear. Although that I, as a kid, would not have enjoyed Mad Hatter, it would have been a lot for me. I would have gone into death mode and been like, well, we're in full survival, and I will win. I have to survive this.
You're the guy in Vietnam or World War II that just gets out of the trench and starts running and screaming, ah!
Yeah, Keanu in Point Break with the gun into the sky. I would.
I can't wait to see this documentary. I cannot wait.
If we are not in it, I will lose my mind. Although we reference basically just the grid, and the woman Sheila who wrote it really deserves all the accolades.
And I don't remember anything that happened, and I'm one of the sources.
Like, what do we have to do, bro?
The doc can pay for your regression therapy, Patty, and then we can watch you, like, have your eyes roll back in your head and remember the abuse at the Mad Hatter.
I remember the lights. Lights.
I need a hypnotist, I think.
Yes.
In a ball pit.
Oh, my God. Or maybe, yes. Although, I remember there was a hypnotist at Second City once, and that was pretty wild. Were any of you there? Bots, were you there?
Was it Colin's show?
I was not there.
Yeah,
I never saw that, but I met a hypnotist when I worked on a cruise ship, and then she came screaming at me with a fork in her hand one day because she said I was fucking her boyfriend on the cruise ship, and I was like, "You don't seem that way." Yeah, I was, of course.
You were? I thought she was like, "I had a vision." You were, and you were like, "Absolutely not."
No, I think maybe I had an after, but she thought that they were still together or something, but.
Okay, so this is Patrick, you were telling me about this Action Park.
Yeah, it's the Judd Apatow one that I was telling you about.
Class Action Park.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, what is it? Rob out of the blue saying, Pat, you can get Quinn trained as a therapy dog. Oh, right. When you go back, she would help you through.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, I don't think I was semi-choking this weekend. Not a big deal. I was eating peanut butter chocolate chips and sucked one back really big, sitting beside Burger, didn't even look up. And it was a full like, and he didn't even look at me. Not even one glance.
I mean, because like animal sounds, no animal sounds, and that's the sound of someone dying. You didn't care.
Burger's like, did you suck on a bone pretty hard too? Yeah, me too. She's fine. Bodding, can we talk about your water? That
I was just going to ask.
I was waiting for someone to mention that.
Because from this angle, it looks like a dick. Okay, now we have a cactus.
So it's a cat.
I know it does look like a toy, but
when it first came up like half screen before it was.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Happily,
What made you get it?
Yeah, no problem. So my sister-in-law subscribes to the FabFitFun box and gave it to me as a thank you for staying over for the night. And in that box, there was some hair masks, there was some emollients for one's face, and this cactus had a water bottle. It's deceivingly large because it looks like it's this big, but these also are empty, so it fills up all the way to the top. And once you start drinking, you just can't stop. The cactus water bottle, also a dildo.
I can't believe she gave you the whole Fab Fit. I thought she might pick out the. Oh, that's nice. She's usually like you pick out the good products.
She didn't break the seal. Gave me the whole box and orders 3 of them every month for her like real estate team to give out as prizes to people.
God, what I would give to just be like a chic real estate. Like you want a Fab Fit Fun? It's in my Lamborghini. Whatever.
Selling Sunset, just like.
Christine Quinn, pregnant, how, can't see the belly, still on Playboy. I mean, the Selling Sunset whole shenanigans. We should actually have you guys back on because Selling Sunset's coming back. We're all fans of the show. Chrishell, dare I say, has fully lost her mind. Did you hear the drama about her breaking up with her boyfriend and it was like very messy?
And then he said to People magazine, he was like, yeah, it's been really hard. Like, we went our separate ways. I'm still mourning the loss of my mother. And then she was like, oh, actually, no. Like, if you're going to like lie and bring in the death of your mother, you fully cheated and like went off.
Yes.
I love Chrishell. Those episodes where she was moving into her new apartment with the questionable curtain. And she was just like, I'm getting mine. I'm living my life. Like, I was just like, I like this woman. And I hear she's nice.
Okay.
Can you imagine these lives where like People magazine is that friend that you both shared and it was like, actually, this is what happened. And you're like, basically like, I got to tell People magazine about our breakup.
I cannot.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of publicists on TikTok that will say like how it worked. There's this one girl I follow and she used to work for People in different places and like talks about like the favors. It's like, we'll like help you out, but you have to give us something in return. And people just sell each other out constantly. Yeah. But I would say I am still Team Christine. I know that she gets a bad rap, but I mean, I love a villain. Without her, that show would suck. And
yes, that's true.
And then what's her face? Married to Tarek. Heather.
Do you know what I love about that show is that there are employees who work at the Oppenheim Group who didn't get cast on the show, who have to go into work every day and watch these women be on the show and like act like they're the only ones who work there. And they're probably in like, little rooms in the corner having to sell these houses.
But I bet you they're happy. I bet you they're happy because it's like, does that really help your career? It's like, they're not really selling homes.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I bet they are.
Do you think they really are?
I think they really are. And I think that these homes now sell themselves because of who they are now. People want
100%.
to be on the show or they want to have themselves associated with those people. They want to be able to say, Christine sold this house for me. God knows why.
Because I think I agree because I think reality shows in general, like they're cheap to. The reason why they produce so much of them is because apparently they're cheap to make. So it's like, are they paying them a lot to be on the show? I don't know. Like, but
I
maybe
bet you
not.
they're not getting. I bet you they're not getting as much money as we think.
But then you get like, you're there for the fame. You're there because then you can build up your own brand, and then on top
all
of
of their
it, like,
Instagrams are huge. Like they
exactly.
can
So you can make your money
on
in other ways. But I think they probably still sell homes and do.
They absolutely do.
Well, I'm just hoping in this next season that Heather finally admits that she goes to a publicist whenever her and Tark do something. Remember when Christine called her out and she got so mad? Okay.
And Davina is the worst, Megan. Davina is the worst.
Davina is the worst. And you know what? I agree with Christine. I wanted to see more of that wedding. It seemed out of control.
Also, Rob saying that they can't go to the company parties, like the other staff, the B group, like... I feel like they have like a separate office. They're like, you can't come into the office today. Like, we're filming, like, you go to the warehouse in Sacramento. Like,
yeah, it's just a bunch of cardboard boxes with like fake laptops.
Yeah,
they just have to go to an internet cafe and post real estate listings.
What
is Kid Nation? Siddiqui,
apparently, it was a reality TV show hosted by Jonathan Karsh. Oh, right. It was one where didn't they just like, it was almost like a Mad Hatter's, like they put all these kids on a farm and would basically like figure it out, I think.
Whoa.
In the show, the children try to create a functioning society in the town, including setting up a government system with minimal help and supervision.
It's Lord of the Flies.
But wait. Sorry.
Canceled after one season. Oh my god!
Can I just show you one photo that has come up?
I can already guess which one you're going to. Is it a cowboy hat by any chance?
No, sorry. This is crazy. Hold on. Let me just get this guy. This is bananas stuff.
But these kids, so they look like they're probably between the ages of like 9 and 13, somewhere in there, and then they just go. Great.
These parents had to sign waivers.
I'm the local blacksmith.
Not unlike the kid in the shopping cart. He's just popping up in all of these different like risky things like throughout history.
This is crazy.
I remember this. I did start watching this. This was so long ago. 2007. That's when this was.
You can watch it on YouTube. It says you can watch it on YouTube.
That kid in the cowboy hat is now in his 20s. So
and he's dealing with this like Patty. At least he's working through it. Patty still can't get through the Mad Hatter stuff.
This is wild. I do have now we'll have to get Siddiqui on to talk about the show because this is absolutely wild.
We can
watch it. These are all the characters apparently.
I remember this. I was excited about this show.
Jared Goldman was our business.
Okay, what's up with Alex Wade though? Top left. Alex Wade. Does he have those transition glasses that go from regular glasses to sunglasses?
Oh my god! Blaine Wise is getting all the play. Look how cute that is.
Oh no! Yeah. Greg Pheasant, third row middle.
Yeah,
daddy.
Didn't Greg Pleasant? He just grew up to be. Yeah,
it looks like he's farting.
Andy Samberg, yeah.
Okay, but bottom right, Kennedy Peyton.
That's
Womack is. I think she's a Duggar. Like she.
Yeah. Big news on the.
Okay. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
She's Westboro Baptist.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Duggars for a while. I have no idea why. Like, was not at all religious.
Your Allison roots. I got it.
No, but like we were not religious. We were not. I mean, I didn't even know.
I'm getting it mixed up with a different show.
With what?
What were the Duck Hunter ones? Duck Dynasty.
Duggars, the Duck Hunters.
You think I watched Duck Dynasty? No.
I didn't watch either of them, but it just feels like that would be Duggars and Duck Dynasty. I just got mixed up because of
Duggars, the Duck Hunters.
Listen, Siddiqui's saying that Greg Pheasant is the best.
I agree. He looks like he got a job at Abercrombie after.
He is the oldest and a shit, and for sure.
I'll tell you right now, if this group went into Mad Hatters, he's winning that pillow fight for sure.
First of all, yes. Jimmy Flynn looks like they're 7. Like the youngest.
I feel like a real Emily, no last name.
I bet you it's Amelie. Yeah.
Wait, where is she?
She's second row farthest to the right.
Second row on the right. Emily, no last name.
Yeah.
Campbell Beatles.
She was smart. She was smart.
She
it's not going to follow her in her career.
No,
it's true.
Campbell Beatles. Oh my god.
We need to do an episode of this of Where Are They Now?
Emily's a
what is
CEO.
Like, I hope this kid's okay. I hope this kid is actually okay.
That's the 18-year-old that opened the place.
This is Greg Pheasant.
I agree.
Pals, we really did it. I can't thank you enough for being on. You'll have to come on again. Is there any quotes or pieces of information that we didn't get to that you have? Because you did do a deep dive, and I want to make sure we're getting all of it.
Yeah, because my brother spent a hot 2 seconds with me. He just said it was violent and fucked up. I get to be a bully and not get in trouble for it, is what I'll close with.
Okay. I love that. Jay, do you have anything?
Well, my other brother got back to me just this morning. He's like, and he said he has no stories, just very faint memories. I actually tried to forget it existed. So like he might be in the same camp as like Patrick.
He said he's trying to forget it.
I'm wording that properly, but like
you're wording it properly, so that is what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Right.
Direct quote.
I'm really glad that he.
But he says, I do want to know more and remember. So you guys, this is great. You're on the right track. I really want to listen to this. So
you're on the right track. Did you hear that, documentary film crew? We're on the right track.
Yeah.
Patrick?
I guess the last thing from my sister was just dropped off in a basement into a concrete warehouse. The shopping carts, there were dents in the concrete walls from the shopping carts. I don't remember if it was dark or fluorescent. The walls were a gross, shiny mustard color.
Was that a haiku?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
I remember.
I'm remembering the walls. I want to just thank you for your bravery, for coming out and really unpacking the Mad Hatter.
Re-traumatized.
Harry
Hold on
Stinson.
Hold on one second. Okay, I'll come back.
No, it's okay. What do you
It's
have?
taking me a second. It's taking longer than I thought. Never mind.
And that's okay. You can communicate. We can take a breath.
Because I think we showed this picture last time, but just to end on like what the Mad Hatter is, here you go.
That's it? Oh my God.
There's the Mad
In the corner.
And there's an adult there, so that might be the 18-year-old. Or that's just a really giant child.
No, I don't think that. I think that was just a teen. I think there's a mixture of like younger kids and older kids.
Oh my goodness, when the parties collide and it's like a 5-year-old birthday party and an 18-year-old birthday party.
That's the tub of whipped cream, which is like, honestly, not that impressive.
I don't remember it being like this. We had a picnic table in the middle and stuff, and like the cape came out and like it was, I don't know, like it was a bunch of food that you could throw at each other.
The picnic table almost seems more dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can grab someone and
I know.
bash them into it.
Please, we need the sheriff in town to calm everybody down.
Literally the first thing I do when this is over is go to YouTube and watch Kid Nation. I can't wait.
Siddiqui goes, I'm telling you, it was a hellmouth. Siddiq, we have to get you on at some point and talking about Mad Hatter as well, because this is just wild. I mean, I can't believe that. I mean, the world is big, but the world is small, and today really proved that.
Big time.
You know? Mm-hmm. Where can everyone follow you? Tell us all about your things, and we'll put all of the links down below.
Yeah, first. Listen, I'm on the gram. You got just Ashley Botting on that gram. The Twitter, Ashley Botting on the Twitter. I'm not on the TikTok, but I will be. But it's the Ashley Botting. But don't do it yet because I'm not doing much yet on the TikTok.
Okay, perfect. And Patrick?
My name is Patrick Murray, also known as Pat Smear. So you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Pat Smear. That's PATT Smear. And I'm also doing a show on Instagram called You're Doing It Wrong. You can follow that at You're Doing It Wrong Show. We just released the first part of our Trixie Mattel makeup tutorial.
You did. I just watched it. It's great.
We got the eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I always want to do a Trixie eye. It just seems really difficult. You have to let him drink the other. This is fun. Can you tell that we all miss performing? I think, I feel like Jay and I could just leave and. Thanks everyone for watching. Again, if you had a good time, I want to give it a like. Have you not subscribed yet? That's crazy. Subscribe and join the shenanigans. And we will be back on Wednesday. Is there anything else we need to say?
Well, I had a really fun time on the Patreon and the Office Romance this week. We'll be coming out with some more events for our Patreon members soon enough. So like jump on that Patreon if you haven't yet. And that's
yes, the updated calendar will be going up, so you will see all the upcoming events. And everyone who's stealing our programming, please stop. It's really hurting my heart. I have nothing left. I can't even afford a Fiat, and it's the car of my dreams. So with that, we bid you adieu. We'll see you all on Wednesday. Bye.